Which NFL head coaches could I beat in a fight? I've had a lot of people come to me with this video idea, but most of them wanted me to do it with players, and newsflash guys, I'm not beating an NFL player in a fight. Maybe some of the punchers, but even then. So I figured, let's do it with coaches. Some of them are old, some of them are out of shape, some of them are both, and I figure I could at least take a handful of them. Now, as for the fact that I've never been in a fight in my life and grew up in a suburban town in Connecticut, we don't have to talk about that. This video is once again sponsored by Jack Links, so show them some love and pick up some Jack Links protein snacks today. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Bill Belichick. Look, I'm a Patriots fan, so I really don't want to fight the guy, even though that Matt Patricia hire last year would make it justified. But I will say, if it came down to it, I think I could take old Bill. At the end of the day, if I can't beat a 71-year-old man in a fight, what are we really doing here? Shawn McDermott. Now, this one's definitely more questionable. He's only 49 years old, he keeps himself in pretty good shape, and even though he is only 49, he seems like one of these dudes that might just have like kind of old man strength already. I think Shawn might take me down, I hate to say it. Mike McDaniel. This would be a good one. I think Mike McDaniel might be the most unpredictable person to fight on this entire list. Like, this fight would go one of two ways. He's either gonna be like, hey man, let's not fight, let's just chill out, you know? Let's just go get something to eat and relax. Or he pulls out a shank and stabs me immediately. And I honestly am not sure which way it would go. I'm gonna say I could beat him just based on his stature, but I gotta expect the unexpected with this one. Robert Saleh. Nope, not even close. I'm not gonna pretend I can beat a man who's built like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and has plenty of pent-up aggression from the fact that the Jets have just been for the past few years. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he'd fold me up like a paper crane. No thanks. Sean Payton, yeah, I'm taking Sean Payton down. And this is what I mean by some of these coaches are just old, so I should hopefully be able to beat them. This guy's pushing 60. He hasn't kept himself in good shape. I don't have much concerns about handling Sean Payton. Brandon Staley, the man who has aged about 30 years since he started coaching the Chargers. This is a good old Brandon versus Brandon scrap, and I think I come out on top here too. Look, he's not a super old guy, so he could probably hang with me as far as endurance goes. But considering he's the head coach of the Chargers, I'm confident that even if he has the upper hand on me early, he's probably just gonna choke the fight away late. I am smoking Josh McDaniels. Talk about incompetence. This guy has no clue what he's doing, has no business being a head coach. And honestly, I think Raiders fans would like for someone to fight him because maybe they could knock that confused look off his face once and for all. Andy Reid. Talk about a guy I just don't want to fight. Not because I'm scared of him, but just look at him. He's like football Santa Claus. That being said, I do think I could beat him. I think I could just kind of run circles around him and tire him out over time. But there is the question of how much damage he could probably absorb. I mean, he's got a lot of padding on him, you know? He may tire me out. If he just kind of blocks his face and I'm forced to just go body blows, I don't know how much damage I'm really gonna do there. But I'm still gonna give myself the benefit of the doubt and say I take down Andy Reid. Mike Tomlin. Nope. This guy has seen some shit. He's taken some bad Steelers teams to way better records than they deserve. He's got this just 1,000-yard stare on most of the time. I think he'd just psych me out before the fight even began. I'm not messing with Mike Tomlin. He'd take me down. Yeah, Zach Taylor, I think I'd put in the grave. I mean, the guy just looks like an investment banker. I mean, he looks like his dad got him a job at Goldman Sachs. I don't know how he's coaching an NFL team. John Harbaugh is another one that you have to take age into consideration. He's 61 years old, but he's another one that his stature kind of just screams dad strength, and I don't have that going for me. I think this one might be relatively close, but honestly, I think John Harbaugh takes me down. Kevin Stefanski is someone I know very little about other than the fact that he looks like a dirty used car salesman. So this one could go either way. Like a lot of head coaches, he is a former player. He played defensive back at the University of Pennsylvania. So that athleticism could put him over the top. I mean, I certainly didn't play college football. And honestly, I might just be distracted staring at his two-tone beard the entire time. Yeah, I'm gonna give Stefanski the win here. Mike Vrabel would put me on the ground so fast it might register as an earthquake. Not only a former NFL player, but a former NFL player at a very high level at linebacker. I mean, you guys have been watching this video. You've seen the pictures of all these coaches that I've had up here. How many other ones have you seen basically in a fight? Obviously, it's just part of practice, but that just kind of shows you the toughness that this guy has. No, I value my life, so if this fight ever came to be, I am running the other way. Oh, good. Yeah, speaking of former linebackers, how about one that's barely removed from his playing career? DeMeco Ryans would end me. My limbs would be twisted in ways I didn't even know were possible. He'd turn me into the new mascot for Auntie Anne's Pretzels because that's what my body would be shaped like. Yet another fight that I would kindly opt out of. So looking up these pictures of Shane Steichen kind of surprised me. I realized I haven't taken too close of a look at him in the past, so I was like, man, he looks a lot older than I thought. And then I realized he is actually only 38 years old. And I don't know if coaching has aged him or what. I mean, the hair's not looking too great, but hey, brother, same. Nonetheless, this is not a beauty contest. This is a fight. And I think I could win this one. The problem here is going to be his height. He's apparently 6'3". Didn't know that. And honestly, that may be enough for him to take me down. But I don't know. I'm just not intimidated. So I'll go in there with some blind confidence and hope for the best. And Doug Peterson, he just kind of looks like your fun grandpa. I mean, relatively young grandpa. He's only 55 years old, but that's what he looks like, right? Kind of guy that'll take you out for ice cream and not tell your mom and then probably slip you a 20 when he drops you back off. Nonetheless, I'm taking Doug Peterson down. Also a former quarterback, and I'm just hoping age has, aged him. Plus the visor looks kind of dumb. It's making me feel more violent. Now, before we get to the NFC coaches, a quick word from our sponsor. Well, it's me, but on behalf of our sponsor. As I said before, this video is sponsored by Jack Links, which is good because you need protein if you're gonna beat anyone in a fight. Today we've got this hickory smoked beef jerky to symbolize me smoking all these coaches in hand-to-hand combat, but you can get your protein from any Jack Links product. Jerky, tender bites, beef sticks, you name it. So try Jack Links meat snacks today. All right. Back to the video. Nick Sirianni. Look, I like the Eagles, even though they're good. I like Jalen Hurts. I want to see that team hopefully win a Super Bowl eventually. That being said, Nick Sirianni might have the most punchable face among NFL head coaches. Then again, Zach Taylor exists. But I can't help but see that picture of Tim Robinson every time I look at Sirianni, and I think the anger that his face just brings out in me would make me go pretty hard in this fight. But then again, I googled it and he's apparently 6'2". I'm only 5'10". That's probably not gonna go great for me. Again, this height thing's really a pain. He also kind of looks like someone who would just bring a lead pipe to this fight and just bash my kneecaps in. Yeah, for some reason I don't have a good feeling about fighting Nick Sirianni. I'm gonna say he probably wins. I would wreck Mike McCarthy. I think all I would have to do is hold a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich in one hand and then punch him with the other hand, and he would never be able to focus on the punching hand. And he's another one that he kind of just looks confused all the time. So combine confusion with just incredible lack of athleticism, and yeah, I should be able to take him down. So here's what's fun about Brian Daboll. He was also a player in college, but he was a safety. So you can look at this two ways. Either it means he has no control over his new body type because he's used to being, skinnier, at least at the peak of his athleticism, or it means he kept that sort of speed and athleticism and is now much heavier to go with it, so he might just be deceptively fast. I'm gonna take my chances. I think I could beat Brian Daboll. I just gotta kind of keep my distance because, again, I gotta wear him out. These bigger guys, you just gotta kind of chip away, because if he gets a hold of me, I'm pretty sure he'd just crush my head like a grape. So this fight's probably going all 12 rounds, but I think I come out on top. I'm honestly just sick of Ron Rivera. I would take him down and put Commanders fans out of their misery. Get Eric Bieniemy in there, or literally anyone else. Jonathan Gannon, aka Murr from Impractical Jokers. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this one. I'm gonna take him out. Definitely one of the top 3 least intimidating head coaches in the NFL. A guy who I thought would wholeheartedly fail this year as a head coach, but honestly, he's put together a pretty competitive Cardinals team despite their record. But when it comes to hand-to-hand combat, he's kind of built like Gumby, so I think I got this one. Most of the pictures I see of Shawn McVey, he looks like he is just on about 3,000 milligrams of caffeine. And if that's the case, I don't know how I'm gonna beat him because he's gonna be moving too fast that I probably can't see him. It's gonna be like the Flash. One of the younger head coaches in the league, pretty in shape, also a former player, obviously. He's probably gonna beat me, I hate to say it. Pete Carroll. Now this one's funny because I've talked a lot about age, but if you wanna talk about a coach who does not look his age, Pete Carroll is that guy. 72 years old, and he looks and moves better than a lot of coaches in their 60s or even 50s. I'm still gonna bet on myself here and say that I could beat a man in a fight who's almost 3 times my age, but it's gonna be closer than I would like it to be, I think. Kyle Shanahan, just another generic, like 6'2" white dude head coach. I never realized how many of them there are in the NFL. I'll be honest, this picture down here in the corner that shows how much taller he is than Shawn McVey, who I think is a relatively average height guy, does give me some concerns. Look, I gotta be realistic here. I mean, he's relatively young. He's 43 years old. He's got probably 4 inches of height on me. Yeah, Kyle Shanahan probably beats me. Oh, look, another generic white guy head coach, Matt LaFleur. Albeit one whose height and weight is a little bit closer to mine. I think I could take Matt LaFleur down. Something about his vibe just tells me he's skittish. Like, he just seems like a human version of a chihuahua when he's walking up and down the sideline. Also, fun fact, as a player, he played for an indoor football team called the Omaha Beef. Has nothing to do with whether I could beat him in a fight, but figured you guys should know that. Kevin O'Connell, generic white guy, number 517. He just seems kind of angry all the time, and I would be too if I had to coach Kirk Cousins. Not that Kirk Cousins is bad, it's just the frustrating highs and lows, and you never know when they're gonna come. So this is another guy that I think there's a lot of pent-up aggression that he might take out on me. Yeah, he probably takes me down. Matt Eberflus is 53 years old and currently in the middle of one of the least successful head coaching tenures of all time with the Chicago Bears. Look, I know Justin Fields may not be some superstar player, but he has no idea what to do with the kid. In fact, incompetence seems to just reign supreme with this franchise. So I'm gonna hope that he's incompetent in a fight as well and that I could take him down. Dan Campbell. You guys know how when you open a Nature Valley granola bar, a bunch of it just kind of crumbles out and falls on the floor? I'm pretty sure that's what my bones would do after fighting Dan Campbell. I would rather be run over by an 18-wheeler than fight this man. I would rather a family of rhinos use me as their doormat than fight this man. I don't want to fight this man. Now, Todd Bowles, I'm not even concerned about his stature or his age. I'm just thinking about the fact that he doesn't look like he gives a shit about anything. I feel like every time they cut to this guy on the sidelines, he looks so indifferent. He has never made a facial expression in his life, which tells me he probably wouldn't care about a fight either and kind of just let me do whatever I want. So yeah, I'm beating Todd Bowles. I was optimistic for the Panthers this year. I was optimistic for their coaching staff because if you look it up, it's a bunch of guys you've probably heard of, either formerly successful coaches or formerly successful players, but things have not gone well, and now Frank Reich kind of just strikes me as another old guy who doesn't really know what's going on. 61 years old, not particularly physically imposing. Yeah, I would beat Frank Reich. Dennis Allen Allen looks like a string bean and also has 2 first names, which I don't particularly like. I'll be honest, I didn't even know what this guy looked like until a couple weeks ago. But looking at him now, there's not exactly a lot to be afraid of here. I'll take out Dennis Allen, and again, this is another fan base that I think would probably appreciate that. And last but not least, Arthur Smith. Forget his background, forget what he looks like. I don't care about any of that. I am going to be motivated in this fight by pure rage. The way this man uses his players and the way he talks down to football fans drives me nuts. I swear fantasy football lives in this guy's head rent-free. Like, nobody has brought up fantasy football anytime recently to him, and yet he still talks about it. Oh, sorry I made this decision. I wouldn't want to hurt your fantasy team. Dude, shut up. I mentioned this in another video. You're 18-23 as a head coach. I don't know where this whole I'm the smartest guy in the room thing comes from, but it needs to stop. Yeah, I would go to town on Arthur Smith. Like, you'd have to pull me off of him, or I would just have to pass out from exhaustion. I would have no mercy with Arthur Smith. I will take him down at all costs. But there you have it, the NFL coaches that I could and could not beat in a fight. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my picks, or if I'm way off base with any of them. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.